everybody. It's Matt with the DPI podcast. Today is Tuesday, April. One of those A months, the 19th, 2022. It is April the 19th, 2022. And this is the Disney Planning Insights podcast. If you're new here, definitely hit that subscribe button no matter where you're at. Hit that like button. Follow me over on Twitch. We've got a lot of different things that we do, so definitely want to check out all of those different things. But yeah, we're working through some technical difficulties tonight. My upload stream is not exactly where I want it to be tonight. So if we do have problems with the video, we will repost it on YouTube. I record it every night, so we'll repost it on YouTube, and then we'll also have the audio only up on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, Audible, Google Podcast, all of those different platforms sometime in the next couple of days. So like I said, if it is problems tonight, don't worry, we'll repost it and we'll get it to where it needs to be. But yeah, lots going on. Thanks for joining us tonight. Do have a few people joining tonight, so thank you very much. Not a big news week last week. Huge news week this week. We kind of needed it. It was pretty sparse last week. I mean, when you think about it, when it comes to Disney news, we really didn't have anything last week. This week we've got a lot. So let's start with a couple of biggies. First off, the mask mandate. So a federal judge in Florida kind of struck down the CDC's mandate on national travel. So this would have been trains, buses, planes, basically subways. And what that did is it allowed basically all of the airlines yesterday to drop the mask mandate. Now, there's a caveat to that. It doesn't necessarily pertain to Disney specifically, but if you are traveling to a country that requires you to still wear a mask, you must wear a mask on the plane going to that country. But past that, you don't have to wear a mask in airports. You don't have to wear a mask on buses, trains, subways, planes, unless it's flying to somewhere that requires you to still wear a mask. Disney followed suit as well, removing mask mandates today. So it's gone to recommended for people that have not been vaccinated to still wear a mask on the monorail, on the Skyliner, and on the Disney bus transportation. But as far as, if you're vaccinated or if you just don't feel like wearing a mask, it has become a personal choice, and you get to make that choice because there is no mandate in place from the government anymore. So there is that. The other thing that came back is character meet and greets in a more traditional sense. And what that means is, as of yesterday at Walt Disney World and Disneyland, characters were giving hugs, signing autographs, giving high fives, giving fist bumps, actually touching, feeling, and interacting with the guests in more of a pre-pandemic fashion, which is good. It's good. It's one of the last shoes to drop. Now, we're still waiting on a big one to drop, and Peter and I talk about this. Peter from Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel talk about this a lot, and it is dining plans. We are still waiting on dining plans, and we don't understand really what the issue with bringing dining plans back is. Speak of the devil, Peter's at a golf match tonight. He will not be joining us. But the holdup is staffing still. When you think about dining plans will bring restaurants to 100% capacity all the time. So that means two things. They need the staff to be able to handle them, as far as just a normal restaurant, and then the staff needs to be able to handle them as far as a character meal. And there are a lot of character meals that haven't come back, and I think a lot of people aren't going to opt for a dining plan until character meals come back. And that's one of the big changes that I feel like is going to happen with the dining plan when it comes back, is how they handle character meals. I think character meals are going to be on their own tier, kind of like the high-end Fast Pass rides were, where you can only reserve one of those per day on a dining plan, and they probably have to work through some technical stuff on how they can actually enforce that. But I think that's what we're going to see once the dining plans come back, is that you only get to do one character meal per day. So the families that are going down there with kids that want to do character meals 2 times a day, and that's all they want to use their dining credits for, they're going to have to figure out some other way, and they may go to just like a standard Disney dining plan, where they use their one table service for a character meal, and then they pay for the other character meal out of pocket, and then use the quick service that comes with the Disney dining plan to have that snack or that light meal between the 2 character meals. We'll see. We'll see how that kind of shakes out, and that's why using a travel agent is such a good idea. Like Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. We work with them exclusively. They are part of the show, a big part of the show. And if you want to travel to Disney and have questions about traveling to Disney, what to do at Disney, help with securing those hard to get dining reservations, help with Genie Plus on the day that you're at the parks, Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel's there for you. You can find them on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel, or you can go to the website, and the website kind of flashes down below us, but it's patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning, and that'll get you to the Princesses and the Mouse and the Disney Planning Insights website, where you can fill out a vacation information form, and we will get back to you and help you plan your next Disney adventure, whether it is to Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, Alani, or going overseas to one of the Disney parks. We can help you with all of those things. So contact us today. Let's move on. So Expedition Everest. Last week we had the news that the refurbishment was indefinitely extended to, I guess, the weekend, because it opened on the 16th. Kind of rough opening on Saturday. It was down a couple of times. It had to be evacuated once. It was a rocky return for Flight of Passage, or not Flight of Passage, but for Expedition Everest. It is what it is. I think they were trying to get it back for Easter weekend. They got it back for Easter weekend, and then it had its issues, so is what it is. Moving over to Disneyland, a beloved nighttime spectacular World of Color is returning to Disneyland California Adventure Park on April 22nd. So here, but Thursday, Friday, 21st, 22nd, yep, on Friday. And to get ready for that, they are actually doing a virtual queue, which is interesting. Now, there are shows that have used a virtual queue before. I won't say virtual queue, have used the Fast Pass system before to get better seating. Epcot had a Fast Pass reservation. Happily Ever After had a Fast Pass reservation where you could actually use one of your Fast Passes. Fantasmic had a Fast Pass reservation and get preferred seating, not necessarily the best seating in the world, but better seating and reserved seating, so you didn't have to get there an hour and a half before the show to get anywhere close to the castle or getting close to anything else. If you're watching over on YouTube is really struggling for some reason today. I would suggest moving over to Twitch or over to the Facebook. You just look up Matt Heidel on Facebook and you can check out the stream over on Facebook. It is really struggling tonight. So virtual, if you're able to make a virtual queue selection. You get a viewing area, blue or yellow, approximately 45 minutes before the show begins. There is a regular viewing area at Paradise Bay if you do not get the virtual queue. So it's not like if you don't get through on the virtual queue. We all know how the virtual queue worked with Ratatouille, with Rise of the Resistance. If you don't get through on the virtual queue, they'll still be viewing at, where did I say? Paradise something. Paradise. Why do you keep moving? Walk up viewing options. Paradise Bay. So, just something new for World of Color. They've got a lot. Disneyland has a lot coming back here in the next week and a half or so. Man, you're right under my microphone. There you go. Week and a half or so. So just be ready for that. When it came to characters giving hugs, we got news on a few of the character meet and greet locations that were coming back and having some changes. First one was Sully at Hollywood Studios at that Walt Disney Presents theater. And it's basically as you go past Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, going back towards Toy Story Land and make that right. It's right there on the corner. Sully's meeting guests there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Also, we have the Lamps of Wonder meet and greet location at Epcot came back. That's with Jasmine in Morocco. So, a couple of things there. And then PhotoPass photographers were back with Mickey and Minnie at Red Carpet of Dreams at Hollywood Studios. So, again, working our way back to more normal. Going back over to Disneyland, Disneyland confirms Tarzan's Treehouse will be rethemed and receive a new backstory. There's speculation that this is going to be the first kind of dab of Encanto at any of the parks, and it's going to come in the form of a retheme to the Tarzan Treehouse. So that is what it is. Character couples return to Disney's Festival Fantasy Parade. This is pretty interesting. So if you go over to our YouTube page and watch the Festival Fantasy Parade that we posted a couple weeks ago, and watch Festival Fantasy Parades from before 2 years ago, you notice one big thing, that almost every character in the shows 2+ years ago had somebody with them. So Beauty had the Beast. Cinderella had Prince Charming. Anna and Elsa were together. Tiana and Naveen were together. So all the characters had their mates or had their sisters or friends or whatever with them. When we saw it last month, it was single characters. Belle, Cinderella, Elsa, Tiana on the big opening float. Mickey was by himself in the balloon. So all the characters were spaced out. But it's back. Character couples return. Disney's Festival Fantasy Parade gives us a reason to go back to see that. That's a really good parade. It's fantastic when they have all of the cast members as part of it. Main Street Electrical Parade at Disneyland. Really a kick in the groin for Disney World people on this one. Got a new float. Got a repurposed float, I guess we can say. Let me throw it up on the other screen here. If you're checking it out via the podcast later on, you can go over to the Disney Parks Twitter account and you can check this out. But let me just... maybe screen capture. There we go. Let's go over that. So yeah, so this is a new look at that that finale float, and basically it's got a ton of characters on what used to be the American flag strip of bacon float. Again, it is what it is. It is what it is. They rethemed the American flag float to showcase characters. And you've got Hercules, you've got Coco, you've got Moana, you've got Pocahontas. There's a lot of characters on this. The Blue Fairy. Again, it is what it is. Can't, unfortunately, bring this back to Magic Kingdom, but they're gonna have a cool float there. You know, bring Paint the Night. We'll take Paint the Night. I know a lot of people that would love Paint the Night over at Disney World. So yeah, again, is what it is. So that is the Main Street Electrical Parade. That's opening this week as well. Lots of spoilers coming out on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. If you do not want to hear spoilers, cover your ears for the next about 5 minutes. Probably not that long, but there's going to be some spoilers. So, first off, there was a lot broadcast about kind of the villain that was part of this show. And if you remember the Celestials from Eternals, if you haven't watched Eternals, suffer through it. Just so you have a backstory on these Celestials. That is going to be your villain. And from there, you are going to go on this epic journey with an awesome soundtrack, including... So, what we heard was there were 100+ songs that they went through, and it came down to September, Disco Inferno, Conga, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Iran, and One Way or Another. And if you are super, super smart and you really want to get tricky, it sounds like you can change the final song while you are in the car with a sequence of button pushes, and you can jump on Twitter and find that, or probably on Facebook or wherever, and find that. So, really cool. Cast member preview started over the weekend. Lots of cool things coming out. You know, yeah, I kind of take them with a grain of salt, because you're going to see some things that are good. You're going to see some things that are bad. You don't necessarily know what is the honest truth. It's probably somewhere in between. So, but Guardians of the Galaxy is running right now. The cast members aren't getting to see the main queue. Apparently that has not been released by the construction team to be used yet, so they are coming in a back door and going directly to the loading bay. So they're not even getting a chance to see the main queue. And like cast members do, or at least the ones that try and be funny, there's already video out if you want to check it out. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know where to find it, but I have heard it's already out. So, again, is what it is. Really good news. The Cultural Representative Program opened yesterday. Applications for the Cultural Representative Program started to be taken in yesterday. That means that we will probably start seeing actual country members for the pavilions in Epcot in the next few months. They were targeting early summer, I think, and I think they're on good pace right now, unless something super bad happens. Yeah, again. Drawn to Life. So if you listened last week, Peter talked about going and seeing Drawn to Life and how good of a show it really was. Well, they have added a dining package for Drawn to Life. And it is available for select restaurants around Disney Springs. So there are two prefix menus at each of these restaurants, and 2 price points. The first price point is going to be $45 per person, not including tax and gratuity, and those are going to be CityWorks, Enzo's Hideaway, House of Blues, Jaleo by Jose Andres, Maria and Enzo's, Paradiso 37, Planet Hollywood, Raglan Road, Splitsville, Luxury Lanes, and Terralina Crafted Italian. $45 for Terralina Crafted Italian is kind of a steal, so I'm interested to see what that menu looks like. $65 menus at the Edison, Paddlefish, and Wolfgame Puck. So basically what you have to do is you have to purchase your Drawn to Life ticket first, and then you can book your dining reservations by calling the number 407-587-5981. Again, 407-587-5981. Between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time daily. Dining reservations must be scheduled 2.5 hours before or 2 hours after your ticketed showtime. So you can either eat before or after, 2.5 hours before or 2 hours after your ticketed showtime. And you have to request the animated evening menu upon check-in. So, again, I think a couple of those restaurants are a pretty good deal at those price points. I think the Edison is a little overpriced at $65, but I think Terralina is a good value at $45. So, like I said, interested to see what that looks like. So that's pretty cool there. Moving on. Again, thank you for watching wherever you're watching at. Yeah, we're having problems on all of them, it looks like right now. It's kind of brutal tonight. So again, we will repost on YouTube, and again, we always do the audio only for our podcast subscribers and people that want to go on Spotify or wherever and catch the podcast. We have that as well. So let's see. Disney card members save up to 30% on rooms at Walt Disney World. This is a really interesting one because it is a very short window and the hotel rooms are kind of spread out differently than normal. So kind of hang with me here on this one. So these are for the dates August the 28th through September 19th. So only about 3 weeks are these available, and I think they're trying to catch that Labor Day crowd, and then maybe some people that are like later starts at school. I mean, we here in Indiana, we're already in school for a month before this even starts, but catch people, like I said, for Labor Day weekend. And this is for Disney Visa card holders as well. So if you have one of those Disney Visa cards, we've talked about that on the show as well, because Peter and I are both Disney Visa card holders. It's a good deal if you use it for Disney trips and Disney stuff. Outside of that, you just have to watch it. But save 30% on rooms at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Save 30% on family suites at Art of Animation Resort. Art of Animation Resort at a 30% is actually a really, really decent deal. You're talking about $150 off a night on one of those family suite rooms. Those come in about $520 to $550 a night. So to get 30% off of one of that's actually a pretty good deal. 25% off Boulder Ridge Villas at Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kadini Village, the Boardwalk Inn, Contemporary Resort, Coronado Springs, Grand Floridian, Old Key West, Riviera, Saratoga, and Yacht Club. Seeing Coronado Springs with the deluxes on this one. I think Disney is really starting to think of Coronado as a deluxe resort. When you think about the dining options that are there, when you think about Grand Destino Tower and everything that goes along with that resort, I think if there was an expansion to the Skyliner to include Coronado, I think you see it as a deluxe resort relatively fast. It prices out as a deluxe resort in most cases. You can still get a room some nights for like $350. But again, they keep bolstering it up to the deluxes. Save 20%. Cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Lodge and both of the Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside. 15% at the All-Stars. 10% at Bay Lake Tower. Campsites at Disney's Fort Wilderness Lodge. Copper Creek Villas at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Beach Club Resort, Boardwalk Villas, Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, and Wilderness Lodge. So 10% at Pop and Caribbean Beach is kind of weird. So it's taking, a few of these things, even deluxes, and putting them down in that 10% range where you normally would see just your value resorts. So that's kind of interesting. Like I said, it's just kind of broken out a little bit different than it normally is. So we talked about face coverings. This was something interesting that came up a couple hours ago. So if you follow the Disney Parks Twitter page, Disney Parks released this thing about a special live stream that you won't want to miss. So this is tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's really late. That's really late. 8:30 p.m. Pacific Time. I wonder if they're going to do a live stream of the Main Street Electrical Parade tomorrow night. That's what I'm going with. Let's see if anybody else is speculating on this. Live stream later in the week. Yeah, they're saying lots of speculation about World of Color or Main Street Electrical Parade. So if you want to stay up late tomorrow, you got that. Fun stuff. And then there's a whole bunch of me there. And I'm even glitching out on Twitter, which is like a friggin' 360 feed. So, yeah. One of those nights, I guess. One of those nights. You have them every once in a while where it just is what it is. But thanks for watching. Kind of unstable tonight. If you got through the stream on the video live, thank you very much. If not, we'll re-upload this to YouTube tonight, and we'll try and get the audio only over to Anchor and Spotify tonight as well, so it can be distributed. So thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to go ahead and hit the closing. Hey, no guests tonight, but we did talk about a lot of stuff. Sorry if you did have technical delays. We will get that fixed. Check us out. We're all over the place. Over on Facebook at DPI Podcast. On Twitter at Disney Insights. YouTube, the Disney Planning Insights Podcast. Instagram at Princesses and the Mouse. And over on Twitch, Matt_DPI. Yeah, that was pretty brutal tonight, guys. Thanks for staying with us. Like, subscribe, follow, all those things. We'll see you next week. Bye now.